Some have called it a cross between Jerry Springer and cops. Basically, if you think your mate is cheating on you and you want to bust him or her on national television, the TV show called Cheaters will gladly help you out by exposing your cheating mate. But now, 4 Cheaters employees, including the host Joey Greco, have been indicted in Texas on charges related to a fight caught on film between a woman and her estranged husband over her relationship with a Fort Worth police captain. Bobby Goldstein, the creator and executive producer of Cheaters, joins us live from Dallas, and private investigator Sandra Hope joins us from Phoenix. Okay, Bobby, give us the very, very edited version of the story. You'd caught this woman in a car with the cop, and then basically what'd you do? Bring her husband to some gym where she was working out to set up the confrontation?
As part of our protocol, we did bring the husband, the complainant, to the gym where the wife was. Presumably with another fella, and a confrontation took place. And from that on, of course, we have a police investigation because it involved a Fort Worth Police Department personnel.
But I understand you brought this guy over there knowing that he was charged with 2 counts of assault and under a protective order not to go near her. Why would you take him to that site given those circumstances?
Well, with all due regard, we did not know that he was under any protective order or restraining order. Had we known that, of course, we probably would not have gone to this confrontation.
All right, when the woman came out, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I wasn't there, I understand that she tried to go back into the gym, and your security guards that were accompanying you for the shoot basically prevented her, and cops are now saying that's when one of them tripped her or some sort of altercation between this woman and your guys took place.
Well, cops say, but we disagree. There's no assault. There's no touching other than that which was incidental. You'd have had more touching in a mall or a crowded area, and there are plenty of other ways
Bobby,
to get inside the building.
To ask you to hold on. Welcome back. We were talking about 4 employees from the Cheaters reality TV show, including the host, Joey Greco, who have been indicted. All started with a fight caught on film between a woman and her estranged husband over her relationship with a Fort Worth police captain. Bobby Goldstein is the creator and executive producer of Cheaters, joining us live from Dallas. And private investigator Sandra Hope joins us from Phoenix. Okay, Bobby, one more quick question, and then let me bring Sandra in here. Other than the entertainment value of outraged spouses going at each other, what's the point of your exercise trying to see whether people cheat and then bring them together in a face-to-face in front of the cameras?
I think there's more than just entertainment value, Catherine. You know, we are protectors of the 7th commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. And some people find that that has a lot of merit as well.
Okay, well, putting it on TV is another story, but let's find out why Sandra Hope objects to what you're doing. Sandra?
Yes, I think that wanting to see if someone's being faithful is one thing, but provoking it and making people aggravated into a violent situation is another.
Why are you saying provoke? Because, you know, I certainly know Bobby's response, hey, we're just bringing these 2 together, let them talk about it. But a lot of what you've said about this program seems to imply that they're egging people on.
Yeah. When I have watched the show, I see a lot of provoking, making the other party angry, upset into a violent situation. I've been doing private investigations and finding cheating spouses for 11 years, and you just don't run into this. You get the information that you need, and you basically try to help a couple. You know, maybe say you can talk to them, go to counseling. It doesn't mean your marriage is up. Most people want to find out why their spouse cheated.
But don't you do similar things? I mean, you'll go out and even plant decoys to test a potential spouse to see whether or not, potentially cheating spouse, to see whether or not they'll fall for somebody else. You do bring people together. You're just saying you don't egg them on to confront one another. Other than that, pretty much the same?
Well, that's true. Also a technique, if you bring a decoy to a person that may be cheating, you can find out if this person would cheat before it gets into a long relationship, becomes into a divorce with children and so forth. A decoy can already tell you right up front if you know, they would cheat, if there is a problem where you might need to go to counseling and work it out before they do find somebody else that they might leave the other person for.
All right, well, let me go back to Bobby, because you may sort of say, well, look, a cop was involved, so they're just out to get me, but an indictment doesn't come from the police, it comes from the DA's office or a grand jury, so there are others that have reviewed this and said you guys were doing bad things.
That could be the case, but I think in this case there was a rubber stamp involved. It was an indictment, but the fact is that the charges were Class A misdemeanors, which, as you know, Catherine, could have come by information or police charges. So I don't think that because a grand jury was involved, it means that it's any more serious than it sounds. I think it just sounds more serious. And in fact, I think if you watch the tape, if you watch the 5 cameras that film the entire corpus delicti, you'll see there is no corpus delicti. There's no crime. There's no anything here. I think what we have is political retaliation from a department who's trying to protect one of its own.
Okay, when do you make your first appearance in court?
Bonds have not been set yet, and after that there will be first appearances and then pretrial motions and then a trial date be given, but I think it's too far down the line to even suggest it might not even be 2006 before this is over with.
Okay, just curious, would you object to cameras in the courtroom when you're tried?
First of all, I'm not being tried, nor is my program, but 4 innocent men that work for me are being tried. I do not object to cameras. In fact, one of the ideas that I've had all my life is that every camera in every judge's chamber ought to have a camera in it. Just like the beaches who can gather evidence about plane crashes, just like cops who are out in public parks next to schoolhouses, you know, enjoying private moments with somebody in city property cars. I think cameras ought to be everywhere.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, in the courtroom's fine. I wouldn't have wanted it in my chambers. Thank you very much, Bobby Goldstein, Sandra Hope.